YTBC. This is your boy Coach Sheldon Harrison, okay? And this video is a response to a video made by Ghetto Superstar Boxing. That's my homeboy, Ghetto. When you pass through Charlotte, you better hit me up, man, because you and I, we definitely going to hang. We're going to eat that meal, man. I'm telling you, don't be leaving me out, man. Do not leave me out. But anyway, back to, I'm going to respond to this, man. He made a video 2 days ago, saying that, a lot of the YTBC, we are kicking Adrian Broner when he's down. And yeah, I am. I'm going to kick him in his ass every chance I get. I'm going to make me a video probably for the next 5 days about Adrian Broner every chance I get. I'm going to tell you why. See, Adrian Broner don't know when to quit. His problem is, man, he don't listen and he talk too much unnecessary stuff, man. He's talking too much unnecessary stuff. And see, the stuff, it kind of got a little crazy, man, with Kenny Porter. It got real crazy. It got crazy. And see, instead of him, kind of keeping some type of humility throughout that whole thing, he decided to go in on Kenny Porter. And it backfired on him, okay? See, I'm telling you, this is the fall of Adrian Broner. It ain't because he lost 2 fights. I don't think it's because he lost. I think it's merely because he don't know when to shut the hell up. And that's just the way that is, okay? See, I'm going to tell y'all a story. Yeah, when I was in high school, okay, I was an athlete, and I was still kind of in the martial arts and fighting back then, okay? I was in high school, but there was this girl. She was always quiet. And I remember this story because 78 was talking about it's the quiet people that you really have to worry about. This girl was quiet. She sat in the same spot every time. We sat, over in the hall and ate our lunch, It was me, my boy Quick, and then, it was a girl. We always saw her reading a book. Well, one day it was these group of ghetto hoochie hood rats coming through the hall, just loud, talking about people, messing with people, okay? So one day they noticed this quiet girl, very, very quiet. She never said a single word. She asked me one question one day, and she asked me, could she borrow my chair? And I said, yeah, go ahead, take the chair, girl. It's all yours, And, they thought because she was white, they thought she was just this weak white girl that couldn't do anything. Well, these ghetto girls kind of came by there. They asked her what she was reading, and she just kind of looked up and kept reading a book. But they didn't ask her politely. They just said, hey, ho, what the hell you reading right there? And, they started making fun of her clothes, making fun of her glasses. So the head girl, the head leading hoochie, she went over there. She took the book. She took the girl book and she said, oh, damn, look at this old nerdy ass book she read. So she took the book. And the girl said, politely, could you give me my book back, please? And so this lead hoochie girl told me, here, get it. So she threw the book down the hall. The girl didn't say anything. She got up. She went and got her book and sat back down. And we were just all looking like, dang, man, they gonna really harass this girl to death. Okay? So the girl kept reading. And when they realized they couldn't get a response out of her, they kept doing other stuff. So then, this head girl, running her damn big ass mouth, she came over to the girl again. And this time she took her glasses and knocked them off her face. This still, by then, see, if it was me, I would have been smacked the hell out of anybody knocking my glasses off, okay? This did not get a response out of this girl. Didn't get a response whatsoever, okay? This girl politely went over, picked her glasses up, and she conceded back to reading. Well, this wasn't enough, okay? So when these girls realized they could not get a response out of this girl, this time they went back over. They took the girl's book again. Now, what they did with this book, this finna shock the hell out of y'all, okay? They took the girl book and went in the bathroom and threw it in the toilet, okay? This girl stood up. She took off her glasses. And she said, could you please go retrieve my book from the toilet? And the black girl's like, retrieve? I ain't no dog, you white bitch, just blah, blah, blah. So the girl asked again politely, could you go and retrieve my book from the toilet? Okay. So this black girl, big mouth ass, she said, I ain't retrieving a DAMN thing, and she smacked the girl across the face. Okay, it was 3 of them. This girl, she took her glasses off. She got in a stance. It was a fighting stance, so I knew exactly what it was. She got in a fighting stance, and she broke this girl's nose, okay? She punched the first girl, the big mouth ass girl, in the face. Punched her in the face, broke her nose, and knocked her unconscious, okay? She hit her so hard, this girl, nose broke, and then she hit the back of her head against a locker, okay? She was out cold. I'm talking about put to sleep, okay? Then the second girl, she was a big ass girl, probably had to weigh about 250 pounds. Man, and this girl probably looked like she weighed about 125 pounds. This girl walked up on her, put her in a submission hold. Now this is what she did. The one big girl swung at her. She caught the girl arm, put her in a arm bar submission, and hyper extended the girl's elbow, okay? Pretty much breaking the girl's elbow, okay? This girl on the ground hollering and crying. She got up to go attack the third girl. The third girl ran, okay, ran. And then this girl went back to the girl who hyper extended her elbow. Went back to her, got on top of her, and started punching her in the face like ground and pound, okay? So by then, I kind of thought that this girl, she was about to kill this girl. So this girl's face, you couldn't even recognize the face. The big girl couldn't recognize her face. It was so bloody. So I ran over, grabbed this girl, and told her, hey, calm down. It's okay. My boy got your book. And, my boy was wiping the book off with paper towels, and, we showed her the book. This girl looked at me, and she said, thank you, Shelton. I didn't even know she knew me. She took the book, sat back down, started reading. Like nothing had happened, right? And, of course, the police came in. They had to take her out in handcuffs. But, the girl, here's the thing. I look at that motor mouth ass girl as Adrian Broner, okay? I look at the motor mouth ass girl as Adrian Broner. They don't know when to stop, okay? They don't know when to just let it go. See, she could have just let it go with the book getting smacked out of her hand and walked off and been like, okay, we ain't gonna mess with her no more. But no. See, Adrian Broner, he couldn't let it go. He had to go in on Kenny Porter. He had to go in. He had to go in and interrupt Sean's media day workout. I mean, okay, I understand you trying to sell a fight, but this fight really didn't need to be sold. People were going to tune in and they were going to watch. This fight didn't need that. But Adrian Broner just went in and went above and beyond being stupid. And he getting everything he deserved. And I'm going to tell you, for about the next 5 days, I'm going in on him every chance I get. I'm going to kick him in his ass when he down. That's exactly what I'm finna do. Okay? Yes, I am. Because he don't know when to quit. He don't know when to shut up. And see, all he had to do, man, was let his career go in progression, okay? Nope. He didn't want to listen. Al Heyman tried to tell him, you know what, fighting Marcos Maidana might not be a good idea. See, they told him that. He didn't want to listen, He was on the Breakfast Club, and even a guy, was telling him, Adrian, man, you got to get focused. Man, when I get in that ring, I'm like a genius in there. Can't nobody beat me. Got his ass beat by Marcos Maidana. Floyd was even telling him, Adrian, you need to dedicate yourself more to your craft instead of rapping and going on tour, man. You got to dedicate yourself to your craft. You got to be in the gym. I got this, baby, bro. I got this. I got this. You know what? He got beat. He got beat up 2 times, okay? And yes, he is very, very skillful. I think he's a skillful fighter, but it don't mean nothing if you don't work your craft. No trainer can get you to do what you're supposed to do. It's like, I'll tell y'all another thing. When I coach, shot put and I coach discus throw. Well, it's only so much that a coach can do on the field. It's only so much I can do, And I have to tell my athletes, you got to go home and work on your drills. You're not finna get everything out of me. You're not going to get it out of me because I can't do everything. I cannot do everything for you. You have to do for yourself. And see, you have to go and work your drills. Well, I got athletes that they don't do their drills. They don't work the drills. And so what happens is they get to track meets and they look at me like, why is everything going wrong? You have to work your craft. You as an athlete, you got to spend time on your craft. If you don't spend any time in investing your own damn self, then guess what? You don't get the victory. You don't win. See, there's no winning. You can come to training all day long, but if you don't invest in your craft, it means nothing. Floyd Mayweather can come to training all day with his daddy and Roger, but if Floyd don't do shit on his own, y'all, it don't work, okay? Same thing. Adrian Broner not doing things on his own. He's not investing in his own craft, and this is why he's getting what he's getting. He doing too much talking. He doing too much flashing and flaunting instead of getting in there, getting his ass in that gym and being a gym rat, working in that gym, working on pivoting, working on, backpedaling, working on staying on his toes and stop being flat-footed, working, okay, working. Nobody's denying the fact that Adrian Broner is a quality athlete. Nobody's denying the fact that he only has 2 losses, but every time he fights against a quality opponent, he's been challenged or he gets his ass whooped, okay? And that's just the way that is. That's just the way that is. I mean, Adrian Broner I mean, you would think somebody learn a lesson. Adrian Broner not going to learn a lesson. People like Adrian, they don't learn lessons. All they do is they experience lessons and they keep having the same lesson happen, but they don't learn from it. People like him, they're the kind of people that you beat them up one time in life, they still go back and they still start stuff. See, he got to hide. You know why he taking all these pictures on Twitter and Instagram and holding up guns? The dude's embarrassed, and the dude pretty much, man, is depressed. See, these are signs of depression. I know, I'm a coach. I know depressed athletes when I see them. Adrian Broner is depressed. He's been depressed ever since he got beat by Marcos Maidana. And I'm gonna make a video, and I'm going to document and pinpoint stuff for y'all to show y'all how depressed this man really is. This man's depressed, okay? All the way around it. I don't care how you slice it and dice it. This man is depressed, okay? Very depressed. He's so far on a depression scale, I would almost even begin to think that he's suicidal. And when I saw that gun video, I automatically knew that video, that gun photo that he took, that's one telltale sign of depression and suicidal tendencies, okay? I'll drop the next video on how I can tell that this man is depressed. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. Ghetto, you know I love you. I'm done.